In 2009, we had the chance to host them in Turkey with their first official visit. And the Presidential Council of Bosnia and Herzegovina, with this visit, pays a second official visit. And in 2019, Turkey, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Serbia summit was held, and we met with the members of the Council in Belgrade. Due to the pandemic, unfortunately, over the past year, we have not continued with our contacts as frequently as desired, but we will. After this point, using this opportunity, I would like to convey my condolences to all families of those who lost their lives due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and we appreciate the common will of the Bosnia-Herzegovina government in their fight against the pandemic. And from the beginning of the pandemic on, we have always stood with Bosnia and Herzegovina, and we will continue to do so. And after this visit, 30,000 jabs of vaccine will be sent to Bosnia and Herzegovina. Distinguished members of press, despite the conditions of the pandemic in 2020, November 15, the local elections were successfully held, and this is to appreciate. And in December 22, the election results were finalized, which showed the maturity Bosnia and Herzegovina has in its democracy. We attach great importance to welfare of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Every effort for prosperity and welfare is supported by Turkey. And we have the distinguished president of the Presidential Council and their estimable members, and we addressed our bilateral relations during our talks in detail to further boost the economic and trade volume in between both of our countries was among the subjects we addressed. With the free trade agreement, our bilateral trade volume increased by more than 9-fold and stood at a figure of $650 million. With no doubt, the potential of both countries is way over that. Our bilateral trade volume before long hopefully will increase to $1 billion as we aim. Friendship, stability, and development project, Sarajevo and Belgrade Highway was another item of our agenda. And in 2019, October 9, we did the first groundbreaking of this project. And we talked about how we can speed up the process further. The construction and infrastructure project agreements signed today will be bringing about momentum to the whole process. Energy, health, defense industry, tourism, and stock breeding are the areas where we can further improve our relations, and we reaffirmed our stance. And we talked about the ways to further strengthen our cultural and touristic cooperation. Last year in September, Banyuka, Consulate General came operational. In the Balkans, our common geography was another item of our agenda, and relevant possibilities of further improvement of relations in the region are of great importance. Southeast European Cooperation Summit will be held in Turkey, and we invited our counterparts. And Turkey, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Serbia Trilateral Summit, which is planned to be held in Sarajevo hopefully will be carried out as per our plans. Turkey, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and Serbia trilateral mechanism will be further strengthened as we are in terms, starting with NATO and with other European and Atlantic institutions. Our countries are to stay in closer relations, and we reaffirmed our resolute stance about that. And I hope that our meeting today will be proving auspicious for both of our countries and our peoples. And I convey my deepest regards and affection to the people of Bosnia and Herzegovina. I once again welcome the President of the Presidential Council of Bosnia and Herzegovina and all distinguished members. Now I leave the floor to the President. The floor is yours.
Mr. President, also, I would like to greet you all on behalf of myself and my delegation. Also, I would like to welcome our ambassador and everyone else present here today. First of all, allow me to extend our gratitude to Mr. President for hosting us here today. Of course, because of the pandemic, our bilateral relations slowed down, but they did not entirely stop. We have signed these important agreements today, and I believe that these three agreements will go a long way towards further strengthening our relations. Of course, the highway project is a project that we take very seriously, and we believe that despite the detractors, it will triumph in the end. This project will be implemented. We are going to do our best in order to implement this project fully in Bosnia-Herzegovina as well as Serbia. Now, Mr. President, without your initiative, perhaps we would have stopped in Bosnia-Herzegovina, but thanks to your initiative, now we are going to take the highway to the next level, and your contribution has been of paramount importance in terms of fully implementing this highway project. I believe that there are no issues between Bosnia-Herzegovina and Turkey, and our bilateral relations are exemplary for countries around the world. And I think that in that sense, we are a source of inspiration. Of course, regarding the mutual recognition of driving licenses, this is quite important, and taking this opportunity, I would like to indicate that in the world that we're living in, which is quite challenging, despite the challenging conditions imposed by COVID-19, Turkey has extended a helping hand to us, to Bosnia-Herzegovina, and for that we are truly grateful. And because of the global system, global state of affairs, so far we have not been able to procure vaccines in Bosnia-Herzegovina, but allow me to say that these problems, these difficulties also reveal who our true friends are, and we would like to thank Turkey for being a true friend indeed. And here's what I would like to express today in your presence. Of course, there is one thing that needs to be underscored, and it is this. We have deep respect for Mr. President, Mr. Erdoğan. He's a great leader, and not just for Bosnia-Herzegovina and Western Balkans, but he has proven his leadership in many different parts of the world. In Western Balkans, in terms of peace, building peace and maintaining peace, his leadership has been of paramount importance, and his concerns are concerns that we all share as well. And in that sense, he's a great example for us all. Coexistence is key. We should all extend a helping hand to one another. And Mr. President, Mr. Erdoğan is a great example of that sort of an attitude. And also one more thing that I should like to stress is this: all the nations in Bosnia-Herzegovina, including Serbs, of which I am a member, everyone has boundless love for Mr. Erdoğan. Of course, there might be certain things that we need to focus on. And yes, we may have certain problems in Bosnia-Herzegovina. We have a very difficult electoral system in Bosnia-Herzegovina, and it came into existence after the Dayton Peace Agreement. And because of that peace agreement and the electoral system, Bosnia-Herzegovina is still being monitored by international mechanisms, and we very much would like Mr. Erdoğan to support us in this regard as well, so that we can, without outside help, sort these out in Bosnia-Herzegovina. This would be great in terms of coexistence in our country, and if we can pull this off in our country, then that would be a great accomplishment. If we can reach an agreement, reach a consensus with the help of our friends, that would be great, and that would help us find the best solution possible in Bosnia-Herzegovina. Of course, Bosnia-Herzegovina is not going to be an experiment country for the world, and the realities in Bosnia-Herzegovina must be recognized and acknowledged, because there are three nations, separate nations living in Bosnia-Herzegovina. Three different religions coexist in Bosnia-Herzegovina, and it should be all about accepting others for who they are and respecting them, but we cannot push reality aside, because that reality will sooner or later come and find you. And the words that we have heard today from Mr. Erdoğan, what he had to say about Bosnia-Herzegovina, have really warmed our hearts. It gave us great hope for the future as well. And especially regarding the tripartite mechanism, I would like to express that this process is very dear to us as well. Serbia, between Serbia, Turkey, and Bosnia-Herzegovina, we are going to probably organize a series of conferences, and we might be well advised to include Russia in this process as well. Now, I would like to also mention the Turkish stream. As you know, it has come all the way up to Serbia, and Bosnia-Herzegovina is also very much interested in this. Regarding the highway, of course, we have made certain plans, and it must be implemented as planned. And of course, regarding this highway project, and in addition to the highway project, we should also focus on the natural gas project. We should definitely seize this opportunity, because when the highway is being built, the itinerary for the natural gas infrastructure must also be implemented, and hopefully this infrastructure will span all over Bosnia-Herzegovina. Now, taking this opportunity, I would like to thank Mr. Erdoğan once again and wish him every success and wish him good health as well, because for many long years, hopefully he is going to lead Turkey, the Turkish nation, because this is going to bring stability to Turkey. And also one more thing that I should like to stress out is this. Now, as you know, Turkey is beset by terrorist organizations, and when that is the case, we stand with Turkey. We stand decisively against any such terrorist attacks against Turkey. And one thing that I would like to mention is this: people coming from Turkey, both in the Federation and in Bosnia-Herzegovina, as you know, there was a flood in Bosnia-Herzegovina, and we're never going to forget how Turkey helped us. one more thing that I'd like to indicate is this: we are amongst great friends here in Turkey, and that makes us delighted. Of course, we go to Western Europe as well. They always ask us to do something, and they always present us with conditions. But when we come to Turkey, we know that we only come to Turkey to receive support and unconditional support and affection. I will personally do whatever I can for these projects to be finalized. And thank you once again, Mr. President.
Yes, I would like to thank to my dear friend about Turk Stream. On our side, there's no problem. We are also in terms with Russia and many brothers and sisters, and we will have it built. And right next to the highway, this Turk Stream will be running, and we will be delivering the gas over Turk Stream to them, definitely, and there's no problem about this. So now we will have two questions, one from the Turkish press and one from our guests, and we will give the floor to our guests first.
Gvozden Šarac, novinar televizije Republike Srpske, jednog od 3 javna servisa u Bosni i Hercegovini. Ja ću postaviti pitanje gospodinu Dodiku, predsjedavajući predsjedništva BiH.
I have a question for Mr. Dodik as head of the Bosnia-Herzegovina state. And here's my question to you, sir. Today you said that you had fruitful talks and you have signed agreements. My question has to do with the stability in our country. And here's what I would like to ask you. How will Turkey exactly finance these projects, or these highway projects? How will they be financed, is my question. Thank you.
Ja sam uvjeren da ovaj autoput izgradnja za asistenciju Turske najveći integrativni projekat infrastrukturni u Bosni i Hercegovini.
Here's what I would like to indicate. This is the most important project for Bosnia-Herzegovina. This is an unprecedented project for Bosnia-Herzegovina. Yes, we've had and we've talked about some projects in the past, but never ever have we had such an important project before. Belgrade, Sarajevo, this project actually goes beyond all the borders, and in terms of integration, it adds to the appeal of Bosnia-Herzegovina. It will help us integrate with Serbia, not just with Serbia, but with Turkey as well. And Turkish citizens, when they go to Western Europe, they will use this highway, and especially heavy vehicles, trucks will go from Ljubljana to Skopje, and if we have this highway from Bosnia-Herzegovina, the distances will get much shorter indeed. So this will be a very important transit route as well. This transit route will go through Bosnia-Herzegovina, and this is going to add substantially to the economy of Bosnia-Herzegovina. Of course, we will truly cherish the impact of this project in the future. Bosnia-Herzegovina is somewhat misfortunate in terms of its location. It's in a blind spot, some people say. We have this saying as well, but this highway, this project is going to elevate Bosnia-Herzegovina. And here's what I would like to say. Mr. Erdoğan, actually, because we couldn't decide on the itinerary, he said, he came up to us and he said it could be from here or from there. So he supported us fully, and I would like to thank him very much for his support. And people ask me all the time about this highway, and they ask, when will Erdoğan's highway be built? So this is what people have dubbed this highway, Erdoğan's highway. We would like to roll up our sleeves and get this done sooner than later, and we're very much committed to that. And we need to make sure that many auxiliary roads are also built to bolster this highway, and we need to definitely focus on this, and expropriation is also equally as important, but we need to facilitate these matters. And regarding this issue, during the first phase, we need to come up with a calculation. I, as a Serb, here's what I would like to say. The loan that we will get from Turkey should be very favorable.
Yes, I also would like to thank. Now we will be leaving the floor to the Turkish side. The floor is yours. Serkan Kaya from NTV. I have a question about Eastern Mediterranean. In between Greece, Egypt, and Israel, certain actions were taken, and you expressed very recently current diplomacy work is ongoing. Do you expect any new developments? And also, there has been a military exercise, a drill, in a Greek island. How would you like to comment on that, Mr. Minister? Distinguished friends, about the developments unfolding as regards the Eastern Mediterranean, I have to reaffirm that Turkey stands as resolute as it has been. It is not possible for us to make any compromise on that matter. Finally, our ministry, Foreign Affairs Ministry, made statements. Along with them, the Ministry of National Defense made statements. When it comes to the issue as regards Egypt, I have to say that I do not believe that the people of Egypt will be against us, and it is like the manifestation of a temporary misunderstanding. And as you know, there is a joint military exercise with Saudi Arabia. However, on the other hand, Saudi Arabia has placed orders for armed unmanned aerial vehicles. So these are some recent developments, and it is not fully clear who is cooperating with who. Therefore, I would like to clearly reiterate that a process that excludes Turkey will never be permitted, allowed. And Turkey is the decision maker, is in a position of decision making, and without warming the waters, I hope that we will be leaving this process behind smoothly. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
And we've been listening to the respective presidents, of course, of Turkey and Bosnia and Herzegovina speak there live in Ankara. A press conference following a long bilateral meeting discussing, of course,